Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name's Chris, and tonight I checked out a movie called The Girl Who Got Away. It is directed by one Michael Morrissey. So this movie's about Elizabeth, played by Kay Tuckerman, who as a child was imprisoned by a serial killer who gets caught, and now, I don't know, years later, this serial killer escapes and goes after her because she's the victim that got away. No expectations going into this thing, but off the bat, I thought it's a pretty well-made movie. It has some very mixed performances, from some being extremely good. I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, but Chukwudi Iwuji plays a young cop named Jamie, and his performance is fantastic. This movie has a lot of ups and downs, and I think the weakest part is probably the writing, and I'll get into some of that, but for the most part, I was pretty entertained with this thing. It's got a great opening, and I think the first act or first half is probably better than the latter sections of the movie, especially because it starts to get way more uneven. The opening is really good, really strong. This is much more of a thriller than it is a horror movie. And it's got some really good shocking moments though, kind of like Silence of the Lambs-esque territory where it's kind of a horror thing going on, but there's a mystery unraveling and a plot that has a bunch of threads being opened, and you're trying to figure out, is this serial killer actually back and murdering people, or is it something else? And there's a whole bunch of hints here and there that they try and lead the audience to think. Sometimes it's kind of like frustrating where it goes and all the threads it opens, because it becomes confusing and very convoluted by the end. And I guess because a lot of that stuff was like subterfuge to try and keep the audience in limbo about what's actually going on. But it makes those moments where it reveals things less impactful, because I was trying to wrap my head around what it all means and who this person was that they're referencing. Maybe it's just me, but I watched this movie not distracted. I do think it would be better on a second viewing, maybe, because I would kind of maybe like pick up little subtle things throughout the story that I missed on the first viewing. But you also have to suspend quite a bit of disbelief if there's supposed to be like a 65-year-old woman going around murdering everybody. Feels a little bit unrealistic, and people's actions and motivations aren't exactly clear most of the time, and the way they respond to things doesn't seem natural. And this is the main crux I have with this movie, is a lot of the writing, and specifically the dialogue. It sounds like they're reading strictly from the script, line by line, word by word, with no sense of natural like tendency brought in from the actors. Like, I could listen to a lot of these things these people say, and I could see it on paper, and I could see why it doesn't work as well in person, because these people lay bare their emotions and like say these like dramatic things to people that they barely know, and that's not how real people talk. Real people, I mean, you'll have dramatic people that are ridiculous, but most people keep a lot of stuff to themselves. And so when they're forced to say things that sound like super dramatic, it just becomes melodramatic and it becomes unnatural, and yeah, it sticks out. It's wooden, I guess. But then you also have like some really, really bad performance. There is a guy who plays a social worker, and I didn't write his name down, but his performance is amateurishly bad. Like, it's like an amateur actor, and then worse, it's just somebody who's feels like they've never been on camera before. The lead actress, like I said, Kay Tuckerman, she's all right. The police guy, played by Chukwudi Iwuji, is fantastic. But it's all over the place with some of the performances. The middle act of the movie also kind of slows. It meanders here and there. It feels like a lot of times we're just waiting for somebody to get killed or something to happen to start to push the story along, because it kind of doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Like, I get the conflict, but there's not much tension beyond like, there's a serial killer out there, and then we're still trying to continue the storyline that really doesn't exist next to it beyond that. So there's not much to do in those moments where the serial killer is not killing people. Poster also gives like a wrong impression of the movie. It makes it look like maybe there's like a supernatural bend, but there isn't at all. So this is an alright movie. I didn't dislike it. I thought when it was working well. When this movie hits, it hits well. There's a bunch of shocking moments and some good like makeup effects, and just the kill sequences are particularly interesting, I think, and well done for the most part. But the story's complicated, and not in a good way, I didn't think. Performances are mixed. It's shot pretty well. It looks all right. It's an okay movie. Maybe worth giving a chance if you like these kind of like more murder, mystery kind of things as opposed to a straight horror movie. So yeah, that's it. The Girl Who Got Away. It's out now. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. And then, hit subscribe, hit the like button. That helps out the channel. And I'll catch you here next time, guys. Goodbye.